Hello, my name is Suds Narasimhan. I'm a product manager on Google Cloud. Today I'm going to give you an overview of Cloud AI Notebooks, a managed Jupyter Lab notebook service on Google Cloud. I'm going to tell you how Cloud AI Notebooks can help you explore data and develop models quickly. Most enterprises agree that AI is going to be one of the most disruptive technologies in their industries. They also agree that AI is key to unlocking value for their customers. Most customers begin their AI journey by developing a simple model. As most people in this conference would attest, Jupyter Lab probably is one of the best places to get started for model development. This is further attested by the fact that over 8 million Jupyter Lab notebooks are publicly available on GitHub today. Google offers several notebook services based on Jupyter Lab. Kaggle, Colab, and AI Platform Notebooks are three of those services where over 1 million notebooks run every day. Kaggle is targeted towards enthusiasts and professionals who want to learn data science. Colab is targeted towards customers who are researchers or individual developers or students. AI Platform Notebooks is built ground up with an enterprise user in mind. There are several problems that enterprises face when using notebooks and open source frameworks, and Cloud AI Notebooks is built to solve them. Enterprises want insights within days, not weeks. Enterprises want to focus their work on model development and not have to deal with the grunt work of managing compute, the frameworks that are needed to develop a model, and hosting a Jupyter Lab service on top of these frameworks. Most model development in AI happens on open source frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch. But making these frameworks and their dependencies work together with notebooks is painful and severely time-consuming. Enterprises also want to make sure that their notebooks and the data accessed run in a secure boundary, as well as only the right people have access to these notebooks and such data. Enterprises also want to make sure that customers have access to all the data stored in their data estate, and their notebooks and want to make sure that their notebooks plug into other AI services as well. Cloud AI Notebooks was built specifically with these problems in mind. Cloud AI Notebooks is a managed Jupyter Notebook service, which means that we take away the painfulness of hosting and managing open source frameworks and the Jupyter Lab service. Cloud AI Notebooks comes with security built in, so security frameworks like VPC SE, CMAC, and others are built right in. And Cloud AI Notebooks integrates with several Cloud AI services as well as data services. The managed experience comes with pre-installed libraries and pre-configured environments. The notebook environment runs on top of what we call as deep learning VMs, which are simply GCE instances with pre-installed deep learning frameworks running on top of the instance. The notebooks interact with frameworks installed in these VMs, and a user has access to a proxy that talks to these deep learning VMs. We support popular deep learning frameworks like PyTorch, TensorFlow, NumPy, SciPy, and Scikit-learn. Let's take a quick look at the AI Platform Notebooks architecture. AI Platform Notebooks are simply a Jupyter Lab notebook service that can run on top of a variety of compute instances. In the previous slide, we saw how AI Platform Notebooks can run with DLVMs with all the deep learning frameworks installed in them. But if you have a need to run specialized frameworks or specialized libraries, you can create a custom container and run Cloud AI Notebooks on top of those containers. Cloud AI Notebooks are also designed to run with Dataproc clusters, and they also work with Dataflow and Apache Beam. Customers typically connect to a bunch of data sources like BigQuery and others, and AI Platform Notebooks can be saved into GCS or other cloud repositories like Git. So, why should you use Cloud AI Notebooks? Cloud AI Notebooks come with the familiar Jupyter Lab interface, which means if you're used to Jupyter and Jupyter Notebooks, it is very easy to get started. You can start with a small instance, and you can scale up your instance depending on your training needs, which makes the service scalable and cost-effective. We already talked about the security features, the GCP integrations, but AI Platform Notebooks also integrates with other services within the GCP ecosystem, making it easy to build, train, and deploy models. Let's take a look at some recent updates that we have announced for Cloud AI Notebooks. We recently announced Service GA in March of 2020, which means Cloud AI Notebooks is backed by an SLA. A few months ago, we announced an exciting integration with Kaggle. So if you are an enthusiast that has used datasets or have developed a model using Kaggle, you can very easily export your notebook to Cloud AI Notebooks. We recently announced the integration of Smart Analytics framework with Cloud AI Notebooks. This means you will be able to connect Cloud AI Notebooks to Dataproc Hub and Apache Beam notebooks. Customers typically like to analyze terabytes of data before they dive deep into model development. With this integration, you'll be able to run Spark jobs on several terabytes, if not petabytes of data. And once you're satisfied, you can switch over to deep learning. This integration also works with Dataproc Hub, which means you have enterprise-grade controls to your Spark clusters. There's also a fantastic tutorial that walks you through how you can use Apache Beam with Cloud AI Notebooks. So when you get a chance, check that out as well. The whole motto of Cloud AI Notebooks is to help you develop a model quickly, and once you're ready, help you scale and streamline the operations of such a model. There are several tools built into Cloud AI Notebooks to help you develop a model very quickly. For example, we have pipeline management features and integrations within data labeling on the AI platform to get the right data to train a model. We're providing modeling tools such as what-if analysis, and we've also integrated AutoML right into Cloud AI Notebooks. You can also evaluate how your model's doing using tools like Explainable AI. You can also optimize your models using your optimization tools, AutoML or NAS. All of this runs on world-class hardware like TPUs, provided only by Google Cloud, that makes model development fast and easy. Of course, Cloud AI Notebooks works in a larger ecosystem of data tools as well as model serving tools. So across the spectrum, from preparing your data, transforming your data, building your model, to serving your model, Notebooks is integrated into an ecosystem of GCP services and tools. One such tool that is of tremendous value to customers is Explainable AI. Explainable AI helps you interpret why a model made a prediction that it made. Today, we support tabular, image, and text TensorFlow models with Explainable AI, and we also support different explainability methods. Explainable AI also integrates well with the what-if tool. So if you wanted to change one or more parameters about the inputs that you give a model, you can see how your model would have predicted and why it would have predicted a different result. Of course, Cloud AI Notebooks runs on highly optimized AI infrastructure. For example, our TPU v3 pods delivered the best top-line results in 3 out of the 5 MPerf categories. TPU v3 pods are 84% faster when it comes to machine detection, when it comes to machine translation, as well as object detection. Here's a quick look at our roadmap going forward. We launched Cloud AI Notebooks in beta back in April 2019, and in the years since, we've seen significant user adoption and enterprise interest for Cloud AI Notebooks. As I mentioned earlier, we recently GA'd our service, and beyond 2020, we are looking forward to investments in MLOps, lineage tracking, collaboration, integration across analytics, and several other GCP services. As next steps, I encourage you to read Forrester's recent notebook-based predictive analytics report that mentioned GCP as a leader in this category. You can also go to our product page and check out a 5-minute tutorial on Cloud AI Notebooks. Thanks for joining in today, and have a great rest of the conference.